Scrappy Dominic Filane has seen it all in 7 years with the national team. He's hungry for a second go at the Olympics. Seizing the moment and the opportunity is bantamweight Claude Lambert, given a last-minute chance to qualify for Atlanta. Strong bloodlines have Troy Ross, a devastating puncher, following the example of his father and his cousin, silver medalist Egerton Marcus. While large Canadian hopes rest with super heavyweight Jean-Francois Bergeron, ranked number 2 in the world and eager to climb higher. The entire boxing picture becomes crystal clear today on the East Coast as Halifax hosts the Tournament of the Americas, the final Olympic trial and stepping stone to Atlanta. It's a beautiful spring day in the capital of Nova Scotia as we move inside Halifax's Civic Center. The destination is Atlanta, but the last stop on the road is the Civic Center in Halifax. Halifax is the cradle of boxing in the Maritimes and now host to the Tournament of the Americas with 60 boxers from 19 different countries trying to sort out the last available Olympic berths. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Oak, along with the coach, Russ Amber. And, Russ, this is the last stop for gas on the road to Atlanta.
And it's been a heck of a ride. It's going to end in Atlanta. We've been from Brampton to Thunder Bay to Puerto Rico, and now we're here in Halifax. It's been a great ride. I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, a quick review is in order here. We had the Olympic box office for Canada in Thunder Bay in January. Canada selected a 12-member Olympic team that then required confirmation through one of 2 North American qualifying tournaments, Puerto Rico 6 weeks ago, or this one in Halifax. Russ, you were in Puerto Rico, and by any standard, Canada's performance there was successful.
Oh, it was great. 7 of a possible 11 have qualified for Atlanta in Puerto Rico. It should have been 9. 2 so-so decisions I thought we should have had. They qualified 7. It was a good performance and an electric crowd. It was a lovely atmosphere down there.
Well, let us list the 7 Canadians who earned their Olympic berths in Puerto Rico, and they are Casey Patton of London, Ontario, Mike Strange of Niagara Falls, Phil Boudreau of Sudbury, Herc Cuvellos of Montreal, Nicky Farrell of Toronto, and Randall Thompson and David Tafiabon, both of Halifax. Well, Russ, that then left 5 Canadians to try and earn their berths through this Tournament of the Americas in Halifax, and incredibly and somewhat tragically, the Olympic dreams of 2 of those ended on the scale.
Absolutely unbelievable. Chris Scott and Zaya Yunin come here 6 weeks ago. They make weight in Puerto Rico. They come here. They don't even get to the official weigh-in. In the trial session, while the coaches are checking their weight, neither of them is anywhere near their weight class. They're both gone home.
And having said all of that, it comes down to this. 4 Canadians to fight in this Tournament of the Americas, and did not Claude Lambert of Repentigny, Quebec, catch a major break when he was called in to replace the bantamweight Zaya Yunin?
Sure, he was expecting to sit at home and watch me and you on television, and the next thing you know, his phone's ringing. He's on the next flight out to Halifax, and here he is. He's in the finals. He's qualified. He's going to Atlanta. What a break. Nice guy, though. He deserves it.
Yeah, qualified because the top 2 in each class go to the Olympic Games. That's according to the international rules. And now, Russ, if you would quickly take us through the 3 who always knew they'd be here, since Puerto Rico at least, beginning with Dominic Filane at 48 kilos.
Dominic Filane needs a win here. He needs to get that confidence level back up. He lost in Puerto Rico, took a tune-up fight in Ontario, lost that one. His confidence level's on the downside. He needs to get it back up there. You know, he needs a win going into Atlanta.
And the light heavyweight, Troy Amos Ross of Brampton.
Oh, you know, power puncher. He should have already qualified. We shouldn't have even had to seen him here. I thought he won in Puerto Rico. Good power puncher. If he doesn't show it too early, he's the class of the tournament.
And how about the super heavyweight Jean-Francois Bergeron of Saint-Jérôme, Quebec, who is number 2 ranked in the world?
Number 2, and the difference in the super heavyweight class, as you know, it's not the 2 finalists in the heavyweight and super heavyweight, only the gold medalist. So he can't take any chances. You know, these big guys, they can wax. He's got to be very careful, but he's got too much skill. I think he is the class of the super heavyweight division. He should win with no problem.
All right, Russ, and when we come back to Halifax, Claude Lambert, given a second chance, will attempt to prove himself worthy of an Olympic berth.
Chrysler is proud to sponsor Canada's Olympic team. For in every athlete, we see the very qualities of the thousands of Canadians who build our cars. Skill, pride, and that burning desire to go faster, soar higher, and become stronger than we ever thought possible. At Chrysler, we're not just building cars. We're building Canada.
They test car batteries here. They test pickup trucks here. And when they test yard machines, they go here, Dave Spivey's house. MTD tractors, chipper shredders, and lawnmowers tackle the toughest jobs. Look for MTD yard machines at retailers near you. MTD.
Wow! I like it!
MTD yard machines, best value on the Canadian landscape. Available at these retailers.
Tournament of the Americas, Olympic Boxing Trials on CBC. Brought to you by Chrysler Canada. Chrysler, proud to be an official sponsor of the Canadian Olympic team.
Back with you now in Halifax as the Tournament of the Americas continues. The bantamweights are in the ring. 54 kilograms the weight. Samuel Alvarez of Mexico, relative unknown to us, provides the opposition for veteran Canadian Claude Lambert. A last-minute replacement for Zaya Yunin, who couldn't make weight, so Lambert is sitting on a huge opportunity.
I have nothing to lose here, and I know I will fight very aggressive, fast. I will give all I have and all I know in boxing to win this fight.
Coach Anber, the tale of the tape.
Not much to differentiate here between the two of them, Scott. I think we're just going to see an all-out war with the hungrier man prevailing.
Opportunity and hard work have combined to get Claude Lambert to this Olympic qualifying tournament in Halifax. And now let's see what Canada's bantamweight can do in the final against Samuel Alvarez of Mexico. It's Lambert in the red, Alvarez in the blue. Lambert's a tough customer, 75 fights to his credit. 20 of those internationally. Won bronze at the Pan Am Games. He's a pretty smart boxer, Russ.
Smart and a good left hooker, good puncher. If he can plant his feet properly, and if the guys think that he's not so great and they let their guard down slightly, he can explode with good left hook power.
It's our first look at Alvarez. We know one thing about the Mexicans, though, who are here with the tournament's largest team, 6 in all. They're in pretty good shape.
And the thing that's an advantage, Claude being a good left hooker, Alvarez is a southpaw, and the left hook is a very effective weapon against the southpaw. Boy, Claude could, I'm sure he just couldn't believe his luck, you know, when he got that phone call. That just absolutely incredible. They told him all along, you know, stay in shape, be ready, you never know what could happen. Sure enough, the phone rings.
Yeah, don't you have to admire Claude Lambert for that? Having lost the Olympic box-off in Thunder Bay, he might have, as a lot of boxers do after big tournaments like that, taken it easy, cut back on training, gained some weight, but he didn't. And now he's got a big chance.
Big chance, and he's right here going to the Olympics. And I know this, and here's another case of somebody who wants to get that confidence level up and know what he can do in the ring against the world's best. He wants to get a win here. He's not just happy with going to the Olympics. He wants a win to show that this is not just a fluke ride he's on.
And again, we point out that regardless of what happens in this bout, Claude Lambert is on his way to the Olympics. The rules say the 2 finalists get Olympic spots, and Lambert and Alvarez went directly to the final with only 2 in this class. So what a streak of luck Claude Lambert is on.
It's great. And you know, I mean, in the history of boxing, there are other examples of that. I mean, you could take, for example, in the '64 Olympics, Buster Mathis beat Joe Frazier in the Olympic trials, was all set to go, and broke his thumb. They replaced him with Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier won the gold medal and went on. You know, we know the greatness that Smokin' Joe Frazier went on to.
Right, went on to a very distinguished professional career.
So, you know, this is luck. Sometimes you got to take advantage of the openings as they present themselves, and Claude Lambert did. He got the phone call, got on a plane, and now he's here in the finals against Alvarez from Mexico.
Inside the final minute of the first round of this bantamweight final, matching Claude Lambert of Canada, Samuel Alvarez of Mexico. Cautious approach by both fighters. No scoring blows yet.
That's best for Lambert. The tighter he can keep it, the better it is. And the one thing, you know, a lot of guys with the power that Claude has, a lot of them would go out looking for the bomb early and be very aggressive. But he's very smart. He keeps the hands up and he tries to box for the computer. What I'd like to see him do, and if we can notice it on this shot, he's got to keep his lead foot. He's got to keep his lead. That was a slip. He's got to keep his lead foot outside of Alvarez's lead foot. If he keeps it on the inside, he's susceptible to getting hit with the Alvarez's straight left hand. And the overhand right will work a lot better if he's on the outside of Alvarez's foot.
End of the first round, and Samuel Alvarez backs Claude Lambert into the corner. Scored a couple on that flurry. First round ends with the Mexican up by 2, 3-1 the score. That was the most aggressive boxing by either fighter, Russ. The flurry that we saw from Alvarez to end the first round.
Alvarez looked inspired after the slip, and then he just turned it on and let combinations go, and Lambert traded with him. But you see, Lambert gets that head up high there, and that's not, see right there, got hit with that straight left hand, bringing the head up high, and the hands weren't with them.
It's probably the only defensive lapse by Claude Lambert in the first round. Otherwise, his hands were held high, and little from Samuel Alvarez got through.
That's often a mistake with fighters, especially with the shorter type fighters like Lambert is, where they go down to miss a shot, and then when they come up, their head comes up before their hands do, and leaving the chin exposed, and you get hit with a counter shot.
Seconds out, set for the second round now. The bantamweight final in this Tournament of the Americas, 54 kilograms, 119 pounds. Claude Lambert trailing Samuel Alvarez of Mexico by 2, 3-1 the count as we start the second round. Standing 8 count now for Claude Lambert. Second round not off to a good start for the Canadian.
Body shot. He was covering up the chin this time, but he left the hole downstairs exposed, and Alvarez put the shot right up underneath.
Of course, the thing about standing 8 counts is it only is a point, just like any other scoring shot.
There's the left hook I spoke to you about Lambert. If he can get a little riled and start firing it back. There's the right hand and left hook again from Lambert.
Lambert comes strongly off the ropes. Nice recovery by the fighter from Repentigny.
There's another left hook.
Gets points for both of those hooks, and now he's close to within 1 at 4-3. All this happening within a minute of the second round.
That's the kind of intensity we need to see from Claude Lambert. You know, the passiveness doesn't do him any good. You got to have good defense, of course, that's understandable. But when you throw your shots, you've got to throw them with some kind of intensity.
Boy, didn't the body shot that forced him to take the 8 count wake him up.
Yeah, Alvarez seemed to upset him there.
Lambert won the Nationals in Winnipeg in December of '93. Then he lost the next 2 in Edmonton and Brampton to Zaya Yunin.
Right hands from Lambert. These guys are really going at it. Lambert does his best punching when he's cornered. He's like a cornered mouse. As soon as he gets in there, he fires back.
Very even second round. Count that Lambert took woke him up. There's a hard right from Lambert.
He's gotten Alvarez's respect now.
Evenness to this round reflected in the score. The computer reads 6-6. But earlier, Russ, I was saying that he'd lost twice to Zaya Yunin in the Nationals. Got a second crack at him in Thunder Bay, lost again. So Lambert couldn't beat Yunin, it appeared, but the scale did. And now Lambert seizing the opportunity. Now they're standing 8.
The body shot hurt him again. He got caught with that body shot on the inside again.
He's got to be careful because 3 standing 8 counts in 1 round and the fight is stopped. He's already taken 2.
He can't afford another one in this round. And the thing is, he's winning this round. He's ahead in this round, trying to make up the deficit he had at the end of the first round. There's the left hook again from Lambert. He can't give Alvarez the chance to plant his feet and dig those body shots and just sit there like a sitting target. He's got to get his wrist. He's got to keep Alvarez's respect. Punch right with him on the inside. Throw that left hook right hand. He can't stay there like a sitting duck.
Well, he better get out of the corner. Closing seconds now of the second round. Lambert's taken 2 standing 8s.
Not hurt severely, though. You can see he's not hurt, but boy, the legs just got cut out from under him with them body shots. There's the left hook from Lambert. The right hand over the top. They're both exchanging body shots.
Came back with the left, but none of those blows have scored. Oh, a hard right by Lambert. Second round comes to an end with the Mexican, Samuel Alvarez, leading Claude Lambert by 2. 8-6 the score, but they were on even terms in the second round, each with 5 points.
And Scott, he was lucky to be on even terms, spent a little too much time on the ropes. Now you see him there, Lambert's trying to close down the scoring zone, and there, the left hand gets underneath and puts Lambert to one knee. Again, he's on the ropes and Alvarez moves in for the kill. But this time, Lambert fires back. Right hand, gets caught with a right hook from Alvarez, but gets out of the ropes quick enough before any damage is done. Again, the big right hand over the top, that gets a little Alvarez respect, and he's still trying to get down into that body.
Alvarez's corner obviously pleased with their boxer's performance through 2 rounds. Lambert down by 2, but he's fought gamely. Yvon Michel just said to him, Claude, you need 3 good minutes with no quitting. Now the 3rd round of this bantamweight final underway. They trade blows in the center of the ring.
And you know, he can get Alvarez's respect. You know, he throws nice compact shots. There's no reason he can't stay with this guy. You got to give this guy credit. He's showing a lot of heart and determination to stay in with a guy like Alvarez.
You surely have to like the way that Claude Lambert has performed in this final. Basically trained on his own since the Olympic box office in Thunder Bay. He's already come up somehow with 3 points to start the 3rd round, and now Lambert leads 9-8. More than holding his own.
More than holding his own. Staying in there punch for punch, and that's what he's got to do. He can't get too defensive and let Alvarez pick him apart. He's got to stay in there and make Alvarez pay for the shots that Alvarez is going to throw.
Claude Lambert out of the Titan Boxing Club in Montreal, where he's coached by Derek Coolibaba.
And I know Derek would have liked to have been here for this. There's the left hook, lands again from Lambert. Right hand over the top.
Again, Claude Lambert took 2 8 counts in the second round, the result of body shots. Alvarez knows he may be vulnerable that way.
There's the right hand
by Lambert, right over the top. Don't ask me why, but those points are not coming up on the computer.
Low blow again.
Lambert complained about that in the second round.
And there's the point. They'll be awarding 2 points to Claude Lambert for the low blow. This could be crucial halfway through the 3rd round.
Yeah, the referee signals a point taken away from Samuel Alvarez, but the simple math on that is it's 2 points given to his opponent, so it's a big swing. Claude Lambert now up 11-8.
And there's the right hand from Lambert again. What heart he's showing to come back from 2 8 counts in the second round and fire back.
The 3rd round has belonged to Claude Lambert. Not intimidated in the least by Samuel Alvarez, who gave him 2 counts in the second.
He's still got to be careful. Alvarez still packs the power.
It's not wise for Lambert to stand in the corner or on the ropes. He knows that Alvarez got a lot of power in those punches.
That's right, and he's got to be careful. He's got to stay close like that. If he gives Alvarez the distance and the room to measure him, he'll put in the big power shots. He'll stay close and nullify Alvarez's power.
We're inside the final minute of the 3rd round. That was more of a slip than anything else, and Lambert comes back against Samuel Alvarez.
He's got to know he's ahead. That's why he went on the little bicycle for a second. Took a step left, took a step right. He's going to try to kill the clock. But he's firing right back. He's not trying to kill it. He's staying right in there. Oh, left hook again, and the right hand lands. Again, the right hand lands.
Hard shots from Claude Lambert. He has turned the tide in this fight completely. Only a few seconds to go in round number 3. Lambert just has to stay out of trouble now.
They're going a long round again. This is probably make up for the break where they took the points away from Alvarez.
And there's some extra time built into rounds and things like that. And Claude Lambert has won it. What a nice performance by the fighter from the Pontiac. He won it by 5. 15-10 on points for Claude Lambert.
A gutsy performance. And he didn't have to fight that hard. He was already assured of participation in Atlanta, being the finalist. He knew he was going to Atlanta, and yet he still fought like Atlanta depended on it. And that's the kind of boost in confidence that he's going to need going in there. What a great fight. You know, we call him the Rapunzel dream. I don't think that he expected a dream like this to come true. Well, I'm really happy for the kid.
Thought his Olympic dream was over in Thunder Bay. Got a second chance, and he has made the most of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner on points 15 to 10. In the red corner from Canada,
Now, Russ, a lot of people in the crowd are booing, but again, this goes to the issue of scoring in amateur boxing. They're left to conclude, based on, I guess, having watched a lot of pro fights, that the fighter who is more aggressive, dictates the tempo, pushes his opponent around, should win. But that's not the way it works in amateur boxing.
It's not, and I wouldn't say that Alvarez was necessarily the aggressor. I mean, Lambert landed some good bombs, stayed there toe-to-toe with him, so you can't say that he got on his bike and ran away. He stayed right there with him. Full credit to him. He earned that victory.
So with this win, Claude Lambert can now focus on the Olympics.
The Olympic spirit, to strive, to soar, to face any challenge. It means so much more in real life. That's why Bell created the Spirit of Canada Fund, to support programs that help develop, train, and show our children that in life, as in sport, anything is possible.
People who know demand the protection and performance of the Valvoline family of products. People who know use Valvoline.
I was 28 when it happened. It struck my central nervous system. Now everything in my body is all mixed up. Some days I can barely see. Other days I can't walk. Multiple sclerosis. Please help us connect with a cure.
Introducing the Gold Digger by Garden Claw. The patented Gold Digger has 3 heads for planting, edging, weeding, and lawn repair. The bulb planter digs a perfect hole without back-breaking effort. Push the plunger to eject the soil. Great for spring bulbs and annuals. The Gold Digger's serrated edger gives your yard that professional look. The weeder makes weed and crabgrass removal easy. Add a plug of grass for quick rejuvenation. The Gold Digger.
Available at Canadian Tire, Sears, Kmart, and Zellers. Makes a great gift.
The tradition continues.
16 teams start, 2 finish, and 1's left standing. Absolutely.
The Stanley Cup playoffs on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
At the Civic Center in Halifax, Claude Lambert of Repentigny, Quebec, celebrating his victory in the bantamweight final, and this after a layoff of a couple of months. Claude, you didn't think you were even going to be here, yet you boxed brilliantly. Did you think you could be as sharp as you were?
Oh, I'm not in top shape like I was at the Pan Am Games last year, but I'm in good shape. I was prepared for a dual match against Ireland, Canada-Ireland, next week, and they called me Tuesday, so I was overweight, so I trained hard to be here the day after in the morning. It was crazy. You see that only in the movie.
Yeah. This is a movie that you're in here right now, maybe. You know, I know that you've had trouble beating Zaya Yunan, but now you've won this fight. Do you feel as though you have earned your spot on the Olympic team?
Yeah, now I think I'm the real 54K in Canada. The real one who would go at the Olympics representing Canada. And I always train hard to make my weight. And Zaya is a good boxer, but yes, he's not a 54K. You know, he was 6 kilo over here, and he paid for this to make the weight to go in my weight class. And
I think I am the real one.
Well, this boosts your confidence to be sure heading to the Olympics in Atlanta. Claude, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, highlights of the light flyweight final, 48 kilograms. Canada's Dominic Fellain against Giovanni Baca of Honduras. Fellain didn't win in the Puerto Rican tournament, but didn't need a win here in Halifax because he'd qualified for an Olympic berth by virtue of being drawn into the final, less though he surely could have used one against Baca.
Scott, he really needed a win. We spoke about this at the outset. He needed to get that confidence level back up to prove that he can rival the world's best. He got in there with Baca, finished a good 3-3 round at the end of one, and then for some reason or other in the second round, and probably this has been the biggest downfall he has had, somewhere within the 3 rounds he stops working for a round, and then he's got to fight hard to try to make it up, and more often than not it's a case of too little too late, and by the 3rd round when he is hitting these guys, he just does not have the strength to hold them off.
This was late in round 3. Fellain, as you say, came out strong in round 1, but after that just did not generate enough offense. He's been strong domestically though, 7-time Canadian champion.
Oh, absolutely, but he knows that across the world he's going to be meeting fighters of the class of a Baca here, and the guys he fought in Puerto Rico and at the '92 Olympics. He knows what's out there on the world scene, and he has to rival with these guys. But look at that. He hits him with a right hand, left hook, another right hand. They're effective punches, but Baca just comes right back. It doesn't even seem to bother him.
This wasn't the first time that Fellain met Baca. This, in fact, a rematch of a Pan Am Games bout where Baca won by 2 en route to a bronze medal there.
You know, it's a shame because Dominic has the nice boxing style, good skills, but it's one of 2 things. He gives up a round at some point in the fight where he goes very defensive and lets the opponents pull into a lead, and by the time the 3rd round comes along, even though he's got the shots and he's landing and trying to win, he just doesn't have the strength to hold them off.
Fellain lost at 10-5, but as we mentioned, not fatal as far as an Olympic berth is concerned because he'd already qualified by being drawn as a finalist in this tournament. Now, when we come back, Canada's super heavyweight, number 2 ranked in the world, takes his wealth of experience into the ring.
Introducing the Gold Digger by Garden Claw. The patented Gold Digger has 3 heads for planting, edging, weeding, and lawn repair. The bulb planter digs a perfect hole without back-breaking effort. Push the plunger to eject the soil. Great for spring bulbs and annuals. The Gold Digger's serrated edger gives your yard that professional look. The weeder makes weed and crabgrass removal easy. Add a plug of grass for quick rejuvenation. The Gold Digger.
Available at Canadian Tire, Sears, Kmart, and Zellers. Makes a great gift.
Corrosion. It can attack your engine from the inside, bringing it to a grinding halt. Fortunately, there's Quaker State Motor Oil, proven to exceed the highest standards car makers have established for protection against corrosion. Quaker State. What's the state of your motor oil? Quaker State exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
Cub Cadet Series 2000 tractors have the competition a little jittery. After all, there's shaft drive in all 7 models. And while the other guys went to great lengths to keep their prices down, Cub Cadet developed over 50 new innovative features and engineered them all into a tractor line that's priced surprisingly close to the brand that just runs.
Growing up in Australia can be a learning experience. And a painful one.
Rat bag. That's what you are.
Does a boy follow his father?
You want to ride on that, so take your feet off the ground.
Or try something totally different?
So I want you to have this. You like paints, don't you?
A new career?
Thanks very much.
Either way, it'll be tough. Rat Bag Hero, the CBC Wednesday night movie, May 1st. Atlanta is this summer's peak destination for the athletic elite, and the gymnasts will look to hone their performances at the World Championships on CBC, your Olympic network, next Saturday.
The Civic Center in Halifax is the venue for this Olympic Boxing Qualification Tournament. Michael Sprout of St. Vincent is set for the super heavyweight semifinal. Sprout barely qualifies as a super heavyweight, barely made the plus 91 kilogram weight, but Canada's Jean-Francois Bergeron's well over it by 6 or 7 kilos. Very nicely proportioned, though, well conditioned. This is his moment.
Ever since I started boxing, people were telling me that I had the potential to go to the Olympics, and that's been my goal ever since. And now it's really, that's it. That's a do or die situation, and I intend to do it.
And there you see, Scott, is the difference on the tail of the tape. 3-inch in height and 3-inch in reach for Jean-Francois Bergeron. He is the bigger man in there.
Jean-Francois Bergeron of Saint-Jérôme, Quebec, is the #2 ranked super heavyweight in the world. So that makes him the favorite in this super heavyweight semifinal bout against Michael Sprout of St. Vincent. Sprout's actually from Britain, one of about 7 or 8 boxers in this tournament who, unable to qualify for an Olympic spot in their own country or their country of residence, for whatever reason, are seeking a spot on the team of the country of their birth. So it's Sprout of St. Vincent in the blue, Jean-Francois Bergeron in the red. And Russ, Bergeron looks mean and lean.
He's ready, but I'll tell you what's a sad thing. Michael Sprout is probably the 2nd best super heavyweight in this tournament. And unfortunately, in the super heavyweight and the heavyweight class, it's not the 2 finalists who go, it's only the gold medalist. And I think Sprout is biting off just a little more than he can chew in Jean-Francois Bergeron, who, as we said, is the #2 super heavyweight in the world and has loads of international experience.
Yeah, the winner goes to the final, but both Sprout and Bergeron are looking at this as the gold medal final. They are by far and away the 2 best in this class. Super heavyweight class is the largest in this tournament in terms of both weight and numbers, 8 in the class, so the winner will have been successful in 3 fights, and as you mentioned, Russ, only 1 super heavyweight berth available in the Olympics through this tournament. There was no super heavyweight competition in the tournament 6 weeks ago in Puerto Rico, so there's only 1 chance, this one, for Bergeron to get to the Olympics.
You can't afford any mistakes at this stage in the game. He's got to box smart, he's got to keep that defense tight, and as we know, regardless of who is in there in the super heavyweights, they can bomb, and you got to be careful. You got to keep that defense tight. Oh, and Bergeron in trouble. Bergeron's hurt.
This totally unexpected. Will the fight continue?
Oh, he is seriously hurt. Like as I was saying, the power can just explode from the super heavyweight.
Sprout's got him in serious trouble. Bergeron just trying to hang on. This happening in 1 minute and 30 seconds into round #1. What a stunning upset this would be. The #2 ranked super heavyweight in the world is in serious trouble, and Sprout is just barely a super heavyweight, weighed in at 92 kilos. The qualifying weight's 91, so he's more of a natural heavyweight than a super heavyweight, Russ.
But you see the experience of Bergeron to be able to recover from that. And just as we were saying, how the defense has to be tight because the super heavyweights can punch, and as we said, it down went Bergeron. But he's regained himself, he's composed a little more, but Sprout has been inspired. He's throwing lefts and rights, and he's throwing them hard.
Bergeron will do well just to get out of this round. Inside the final minute now of the first round.
Boy, nobody could have expected this. Nobody could have predicted this, Scott.
Bergeron getting his legs back now. But Sprout is now dictating the tempo of the fight. Sprout's a good boxer. Took less than half of the first round to stop a Mexican fighter, Aiden Flores, in their quarterfinal bout. Backing Bergeron up consistently.
Oh, but now he's hurt Sprout. I think he nailed Sprout. He hurt him with a left hand.
And through all of this, we note there's only been 1 scoring blow registered, and Sprout has that for the punch that knocked Bergeron down. What a turn of events in round #1 of the super heavyweight semifinal.
Super heavyweight, super fight. You don't usually see this from the big guys, but they are going at it. Oh, there's the left hand from Bergeron, right down the middle. And he's now backing Sprout up.
Bergeron using his superior reach to hold Sprout at bay in the closing seconds of round #1. It's going to be interesting to hear what Yvonne Michel and Wayne Gordon have to say to their fighter. Conversation being conducted in French by Bergeron and Yvonne Michel. Rescue translate.
He's telling him not to swing. He says don't slug with him. You don't have to slug with him. He's just swinging from everywhere. You can just outbox this guy. Look at Sprue was holding on, and as soon as he let go, he let the left hook go. It hurt Bergeron. The right hand put him down. He was in serious trouble there.
Bergeron very woozy as he got up. Oh, so lucky this fight was not stopped. The left hook started the trouble, then the right to the temple. But Bergeron's got his wake-up call now.
He seems composed in the corner. The instructions were to box, Scott.
Round number 2 of the super heavyweight semifinals underway. Does Jean-Francois Bergeron have his legs back? We're about to find out. Came on strong in the closing seconds of round number 1. He's been in Halifax about 2 weeks. Sparred 7 times with David Defiabon here. Defiabon's already got the heavyweight berth on the Olympic team. Bergeron says Defiabon is the most skilled boxer he's ever faced. Says if he slacked off for a moment in one of their sparring sessions, he paid the price, as he did in round number 1 against Michael Sprute of St. Vincent, who sent him to the canvas.
And Sprute is still nursing a 2-0 lead. And now he knows he's got the lead. Now he's being very careful. He wants to initiate an exchange with Bergeron. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get into a toe-to-toe. He doesn't want to stay out and box with Bergeron. So he'll just wait for Bergeron to come to him, because Bergeron's got to get the point.
Bergeron's big weapon is his left hook. That's his best punch.
Right hook, Scott. He's a southpaw. The right hook, the straight left hand down the middle, just landed.
I stand corrected by Coach Henber, and that hook is what sent Viel Herbie to the canvas in his first fight. Viel Herbie of Haiti was Jean-Francois Bergeron's first round opponent in this tournament. 3 standing 8s delivered to Herbie in the first round, stopped that fight.
You see the experience of Jean-Francois Bergeron slowly coming back, staying very composed. A lot of fighters, oh, there's a right hand from Sprute. A lot of fighters would have lost their composure after getting knocked down.
Oh, and there goes Sprute. The left is sent into the canvas. Sprute tasted that one, but he's up, takes the standing 8. Looks like the fight will continue. Now Jean-Francois Bergeron has control of the super heavyweight semifinal.
The straight left hand, the same one that sent Herbie. The one that sent Herbie to the canvas has now put Michael Sprute to the canvas. There's the uppercuts underneath. Sprute is tired.
Bergeron going to work now. Inside the final minute of the second round.
Sprute is looking to quit. Sprute is looking to quit.
Just hanging on, or cautioned by the referee to keep his head up. Bergeron's superior reach paying off now.
Superior height, superior experience, superior skills is paying off. But this is what's great about boxing, how one punch can change everything. There's the straight left hand from Bergeron again, right down the middle.
That comes up as a scoring blow. And look at Michael Sprute now. How different is his approach to this fight than what he showed in the first round.
A point being taken away from Sprute for holding, and he's dead tired. His only hope is the big bomb right now. Bergeron has to keep backing him up with that straight left hand.
Sprute's had his nose bloody. Look at Bergeron go to work. He's trying to finish at 15 seconds to go in round number 2.
There's the straight left hand again.
Full credit to Jean-Francois Bergeron for his recovery late in the first and throughout the second round.
And those body shots are going to take their toll on Sprute if this fight makes it into the third round, which I think it will.
Bergeron has the weight advantage against Michael Sprute, whom, as we mentioned, barely qualified in the super heavyweight class, is a more natural heavyweight. Through the overhand right.
Caution
Didn't
for
get
hitting
through.
with the inside of the glove. That's right. That was more of a slap. Bergeron opening it up a little bit now. There's the bell. And we'll see round number 3.
Oh, how the complexion of this fight changed in the second round. A remarkable recovery by Jean-Francois Bergeron. Let's listen in again.
OK. L'élément est dangereux. Comprends-tu? C'est que là, c'est parfait. C'est aller au bout de tes poings. Garde tes mains hautes surtout. Garde tes mains hautes, il n'y a pas de problème. Tu te fais manquer, tu ne reviens dessus. Mais jamais, jamais pense qu'il finit tant que ça sera pas fini. OK, donc défensez tout le temps après chacun de
Okay, Russ, translate.
Okay, he said, all right, here's the translation. He says the guy's dead tired, but he said he's still dangerous. Don't take any stupid chances. Keep your hands up and be very careful. You've got the lead. Use the jab. Keep boxing. If you've got him in trouble, once the round wears on, then open up. We'll get a couple of looks at this, Scott. There's the straight left hand from Bergeron, and he pivots away, and Sprout tries to grab on. We'll get a better look at it on this angle. There's the straight left hand. Look at his legs go. He tries to grab on. Bergeron pivots out of the way, and Sprout goes face first into the canvas.
Well, Russ, earlier in the fight, you pointed out that as a southpaw, the right hook is Bergeron's big weapon, but he favors the left, and it did some damage there, and he looks fresh.
He does look fresh, and he's gone back to using his boxing skills, and that straight left hand is going to be the key punch for him.
It's a 7-point advantage for Jean-Francois Bergeron as we start the third round. Remember, he was knocked down in the first round, trailed 2-0 at the end of 3 minutes of this fight. Now he's in complete control.
But again, still very dangerous, Michael Sprout is. That's a big man in there with a lot of power. And I'll tell you, he's taken some good hard shots from Bergeron and is still in there, so you got to know that this guy is dangerous.
Well, he's got his legs, Sprout does, to start the third round, but Rush, you have to think he's going to tire quickly.
Well, that's the only thing. I think right now the advantage being to go along with the skill is the conditioning of Jean-Francois Bergeron. And I think Sprout is just a little bit more the tired of the two.
Bergeron, 45-18 overall, figures he's had about 25 international fights. 13-12 in those, but most of those defeats came earlier in his career when he wasn't as committed to the sport as he is now.
Very committed and a lot of experience, very dedicated. Great to have on the team. He's a great team guy, and he showed a lot of heart picking himself up from that first round knockdown. His legs turned to spaghetti in that first round, and he hung on.
Left to the head of Michael Sprout comes up as a scoring blow here in the third round. Bergeron going to work against Sprout in the ropes. He's hurt now. Sprout's winded.
Yeah, the body shots are taking their toll, even though they're not coming up on the computer for Bergeron. There's an 8 count.
8 count on Michael Sprout. Bergeron said to me the other day, Russ, when I throw body shots, I'm not looking to score points. I just want to get my opponent's attention. He has it.
And not only does he get the attention, but it takes the wind out of you. The old adage in boxing, Scott, is kill the body and the head will die. With the computer scoring system, you don't often get that opportunity, but Jean-Francois is getting it here now, and it's paying dividends.
Halfway through the third and final round of the super heavyweight semifinal. Michael Sprout was sitting on an enormous upset in the first round, but Jean-Francois Bergeron has turned the tide. Russ, when he was knocked down, I always thought the fight was going to be stopped.
It could have very well been. His legs were not under it, but he signaled over to the doctor. The doctor stood up right away, and he looked right at him and said, I'm okay, I'm okay. He got his legs back, he got the composure back, and Sprout was not able to put the one extra blow in there that would have forced the referee to stop the bout.
So unless something untoward happens in the last minute of the third round, as it did in the first round, Jean-Francois Bergeron will go on to the final, and Russ is not going to have a tougher fight than this there.
No, I don't expect so, but then again, in the super heavyweights, you never know.
Jean-Francois Bergeron from the Club de Boxe in Saint-Jérôme, Quebec, but trains under Yvon Michel at the National Center in Montreal. His parents are here today. They made the 15-hour drive from Saint-Jérôme to be here to watch their son box. They got a scare in the first round.
Everybody got a scare in the first round. Yvon Michel, I'm sure, sprouted a few gray hairs himself in that corner when Bergeron went down. I know that feeling. It's an awful feeling.
One definite advantage that Bergeron has in the super heavyweight class, Russ, is his speed. Didn't see much of it in the first round as he had his legs taken out from under him. But super heavyweights aren't used to seeing someone as fast as this fighter. We've seen good examples of his speed in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, and his punches are sharp. He throws good, sharp punches. They don't often miss their target, and they come straight down the middle, especially that left hand. There it is again, you saw it. Oh, and again, the left hand. See, if Bergeron had the devastating power, he'd be able to put these guys away, but he gets you with an accumulation of punches. And again, the left hand doing the damage right down the middle. Sprout far too tired, trying to get off one more bomb, but it will not be. Bergeron's on his way.
Fight is over. Jean-Francois Bergeron's on his way to the final of the super heavyweight division. He is one victory away from a berth in the Atlanta Olympics, but this one was Oh, so close, Russ. What a scare that Bergeron, the rest of the Canadian team, got in the first round.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't think anybody would have expected that. And we were saying going into the bout, you know, you got to be careful. These big guys, they can bang. And, you know, we must be prophets or something. He gets nailed right as we say that, and down he goes. An Olympic hopeful, and a dream could have ended right there. But it's still alive, and he goes on to the finals.
And in the end, it's a lopsided decision for Jean-Francois Bergeron on points. As we said earlier, trailed 2-0 at the end of round 1, but he's come on to win it 13-2. The final count in Bergeron's favor. Now we await confirmation of the decision.
Credit to Michael Sprout, though. What a game performance. He tried his best. He knew he was overmatched with experience and whatnot, but he tried his best, and he almost caused the upset of this tournament.
So there it is, a great recovery by Jean-Francois Bergeron of Saint-Jérôme, Quebec, and he's on his way to the final.
Mankind has always tried to conquer speed, win a race, or leap into space, just to beat the backlog of tax time. Why take chances? Come to H&R Block, the tax specialists. We can express file your tax return electronically, whether or not we prepare it. For a minimal fee, we'll file your return directly into the government computers. You'll get your maximum refund in 2 weeks, or the Express File service is free. That's the Express File guarantee. Express File at H&R Block for a speedy refund guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Mark Drysdale, and this is the Garden Claw. Using spades, forks, or cultivators can be back-breaking. The Garden Claw has a patented design that virtually eliminates bending and lifting. Turn the handles and the steel tines corkscrew down into all soils, even clay. It's perfect for mixing in peat and fertilizer, and it's ideal for working around plants and shrubs. The Garden Claw is backed by a 100% guarantee.
Look for this display.
Available at Canadian Tire, Sears, Kmart, and Zellers.
Growing up in Australia can be a learning experience. And a painful one.
Rat bag. That's what you are.
Does a boy follow his father?
If you want to ride on that sword, take your feet off the ground.
Or try something totally different?
So I want you to have this. You like paints, don't you?
A new career?
Thanks very much.
Either way, it'll be tough. Rat Bag Hero, the CBC Wednesday night movie, May 1st.
I think the transition from Toronto to Calgary involved a lot of decisions. The coaching in Calgary is excellent with Les Gramatic. Being out here, I've known him my entire decathlon career. Leslie Wilson, the other Les in my life, decided that she would think about moving out to Calgary. The environment that Calgary brings, along with it, the outdoors, it all adds up to a very good lifestyle, and that's what's going to add up to very good results.
Back now in Halifax, where the Tournament of the Americas for Olympic boxing berths is our focus. Some fighters have already taken care of business. That was 6 weeks ago at Puerto Rico. Russ, you were at this tournament, and let's begin with a highlight of Casey Patton's bantamweight semifinal against Franklin Frias of the Dominican Republic. The winner here would have his Olympic berth, and Russ Patton, as he has consistently since the Commonwealth Games in Victoria, once again looked very good.
Looked very good, and he was one of the 7 Canadians who ruled the roost in Puerto Rico. They boxed brilliantly, good defense, good offense. The crowd liked some, hated some, especially when we beat their guys. But Casey boxed wonderfully. Good combination, and of course, most importantly, and what is now becoming a trademark of the Canadian team, is the tight D.
It's got that perfect computer style and the tight D you talk about, hands held high, in and out quickly for points. And Patton was the winner on points, confirming his spot in the Olympic team.
The only thing I'd like to see is that he keeps his weight nice and low and doesn't get too heavy before Atlanta.
And lightweight Michael Strange, Canada's most experienced international boxer, faced Alejandro Trujillo of Puerto Rico. Needless to say, Russ, the crowd was solidly on the side of Trujillo, but Strange also has that perfect computer style.
He sure does, and the one knock you could say against Latino fighters is that they're too macho. They want to make a fight out of it, and this played against Trujillo in this fight. The more macho and more aggressive he was against Michael Strange, the more he walked into Michael Strange's firepower, and Michael showed far more speed and let those combinations and hands go and scored beautiful punches.
And what Michael Strange cares about is doing just enough to win. He did here, and so he's heading to his 2nd Olympics for Canada.
You showed far more aggression in that fight than you had shown in your previous fight or in your past previous fights, including the Nationals and the box offs. Why the change? Crowd? What got it?
Yeah, I didn't want to leave anything to chance, especially with the Puerto Rican crowd behind him, and I didn't know what the judges were going to score, especially with the reaction from the crowd every time he was hitting my gloves. I didn't know whether he was going to score or whether he was not, so I had to open up a lot more this fight.
In the light welterweight division, Phil Boudreau of Sudbury nailed his spot on Canada's team, and Russ, I mean nailed. He's in great shape. Boudreau in the red was by far the superior fighter in this semifinal against Christian Santiago of Curacao.
3 fights in the tournament in Puerto Rico, 3 stoppages for Phil Boudreau. He didn't leave anything to the judges. He went out and did his business, and he did it in a way that's not common there. A straight right hand to the body, and that was it. He's on his way to Atlanta.
Boudreau's going to be a boxer to watch at the Olympic Games for sure. Welterweight Herc Quivelos of Montreal had an Olympic berth on the line against Rogelio Martinez of the Dominican Republic. Quivelos out of the Ring 83 club in Montreal, where he's coached by somebody named Russ Amber, who apparently has done a fair job with him. Russ, your fighter is impressive on the inside.
Yeah, he is, and this turned out into a real pro-style fight. They both wanted to work on the inside, but into the 3rd round, Herc did all the damage. There you could see the shots on the inside, the body and the head, the right hand worked. He got most of his points in the last minute.
And so Quivelos is on his way to the Olympic Games. Nicky Farrell of Ajax took on Carl Grant for a trip to Atlanta. Russ, of all the semifinals and the finals, Farrell might have had the toughest fight.
He did have the toughest fight. This guy, Carl Grant, was better than any of us expected, and for 2 rounds, he gave Nicky Farrell all he could handle. But in the 3rd round, as a result of the Orlando training camp, where the Canadian team trained for 2 weeks, in the 3rd round, Nicky Farrell shifted gears, and at that point, Carl Grant could not keep up. He was just too much. He just didn't have the gas in the reserve tank.
Farrell has great hand speed, among other things, and he'll get a chance to display it at the Olympics in Atlanta. And then the grandfather from the Citadel Club in Halifax, Randall Thompson, trying for the 4th time to qualify for the Olympic Games, faced Francisco Montez Fonseca of Mexico in the middleweight semifinal. Russ Thompson doesn't have great skill, but he's got heart and a thundering right that does a lot of damage when it lands.
And I'll tell you, he had to make up a big 4 or 5 inch height difference with this guy. The guy tried to stay away from him, but he walked into that.
That was late in the fight, and Thompson got the decision. And that left David Defiabon in the heavyweight division looking for a ticket to Atlanta in his final against Julio Pacheco of Mexico.
And I'll tell you, the toughest fight wasn't in the final. It was in the semifinal when he stepped in against Flores, the Puerto Rican. That was the tough fight. Here, he just basically breezed through, boxed, used his skills, and didn't make any of the same mistakes that he had made in his opening fight against the Puerto Rican.
Yes, in his opening fight, Defiabon won by a single point, 12-11. Played it a lot safer here, and this was a much more decisive victory for Defiabon. And this to have his ticket to Atlanta confirmed.
You know, he thought that he was going to breeze through the Puerto Rican fight and made a lot of silly mistakes, which he didn't make in the 2nd fight, and that was the key. And there he is, getting that gold medal, and that's a happy man.
Back now at the Civic Center in Halifax as the Tournament of the Americas continues. At stake, berths in the Atlanta Olympics. I suppose the lucky boxers are the ones who'd already taken care of business in the first qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico and didn't have to put anything on the line here in Halifax. Here are 2 of them. The pride of the Citadel Amateur Boxing Club, heavyweight David Defiabon and Randall Thompson, the middleweight, both earned their berths in Puerto Rico. And Russ, the story of both is one of perseverance.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that both of them would have liked to have been here fighting in front of the Halifax fans. They're from here. They're the heart and soul of the Citadel Club, like you said. But I'm sure they're both very happy that they took care of business in Puerto Rico. And for this guy waiting so long and trying to get a crack at it year after year after year of Olympics, and now the dream comes true. And how do you feel?
Oh, I feel great.
It was good performance for you down in Puerto Rico. Tough fight in the first one, but you took good care of business in the second when you had to, and you needed to qualify with that one. How does it feel now going to Atlanta? The dream is here.
Oh, the dream's definitely here. It's been there years ago. I just never made it. Now I made it.
Now you're the senior member on the team. You know this. You're the grandfather of this
definitely.
team. They're looking to you for leadership. You know that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to take them through it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Russ, I would suggest that David Defiabon's toughest battles were first to get out of Nigeria and second to get Canadian citizenship. You've done both, and now you'll represent Canada at the Olympics. How does representing this country feel?
Oh, I just don't know the word to use for it. I feel very, very great. You know, all the problems that I faced in Nigeria when I was back home, the fighting and the war, I thank God that I finally made the team going to the Olympic Games. And,
David, prevailing opinion is that you're a serious medal hope in Atlanta, providing you don't draw the Cuban heavyweight Felix Savon in your first fight. What do you think of your chances?
Actually, it doesn't really matter. I wanted to fight him so bad, to be honestly, because I've been training every day. I've been working really hard with coach and coachee, my coach Wayne Gordon, Taylor Gordon, Yvonne Michel on my corner. You know, I'm really looking forward to fighting, actually. It doesn't really matter. I fought the American heavyweight champion in Orlando, Florida. I stopped him in the second round. I'm looking forward to fighting.
All right, congratulations to both of you on earning Olympic berths. And when Messrs. Tafiabon and Thompson box in the Atlanta Olympics, they will not just be representing Canada, they'll also be representing the Citadel Amateur Boxing Club in Halifax, which has a string of Olympic representations going that few other boxing clubs in this country can match. Taylor Gordon opened the club in 1971, and Carol Morgan went to the Munich Games a year later, the first in a long line of boxers to grace the Olympics for the Citadel Club. Citadel's only Olympic medalist, Ray Downey, who took bronze in Seoul in '88. He went again in '92, along with two others, Marty O'Donnell and Kirk Johnson, now a successful pro heavyweight. And this year, Randall Thompson and David Tafiabon have already been confirmed as Olympians. Taylor Gordon remains the architect of all this success.
Our whole club is organized and directed toward high performance. We don't turn anybody out of the gym, but we believe in maintaining we have small numbers, as you said. We have less than 1 million people in the whole province. And what we do then is we have to preserve the material, and we have to fine-tune the material to keep it in place. And the secret is, if you don't have big populations and athletes coming and going from your program all the time, then you have to do something to make sure that the small numbers reach the peak of the pyramid rather than on the base.
Next, the light heavyweights take center stage when we come back to Halifax.
The Olympic spirit isn't about victory. It isn't about defeat. It's about challenging yourself. That's why Bell created the Spirit of Canada Fund, a program dedicated not to victory, not to defeat, but to showing our kids that with a little help, anything is possible.
Maybe he's not who you thought he'd be. Maybe it's not the disease you thought it was. The Canadian Liver Foundation.
Now, don't ask me why, but Sharon wants to meet you. So once she gets here, just say hello, act normal, then we're out of here.
I can't believe our little Billy has a girlfriend.
Okay, first rule, my name is Bill, and I'm not little.
Bill?
You're not gonna wear that.
What?
What's with that hair?
What?
Why is he in a suit?
Cool, huh?
Why did I agree to this? Hi, Sharon, this is my family, let's go.
Hey, wait, we're just going to McDonald's. Maybe they'd like to come with us.
McDonald's? Yeah, that's okay with you, Bill.
Canada is the story of a country.
Good evening. More
And each night, the story unfolds anew
very difficult debate.
And on our magazine.
in the expression of ideas,
The sense of home.
With more on the story, we go to Calgary.
in the experience of people,
The people of Yarmouth argue.
in the place we call home.
CBC News.
St. John's.
Quebec City.
Ottawa. Edmonton.
Vancouver.
Peter Mansbridge and Hannah Gartner, The National on CBC.
The tradition continues.
16 teams start, 2 finish, and 1's left standing. Absolutely.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
In Halifax, this Olympic boxing qualifying tournament continues. The light heavyweights are next. Here's Enrique Flores of Puerto Rico. The Puerto Ricans have a large team here, but they haven't fared very well so far. Flores should be in tough against the hard-punching Troy Ross of Brampton. Ross has tremendous power behind his punches, especially his right, but in this gold medal final, he'd like to work on his patience.
I don't really think I'll have any problems. As long as I stick to my game plan, box, be patient, I'm ready to go all the way to get the gold medal.
And Scotty has to stick to that game plan, because one thing we know for certain is that Enrique Flores will not be intimidated by the punching power of Troy Amos Ross.
No pressure on Troy Ross in this light heavyweight final. He already has his Olympic berth, the result of a semifinal victory over Ron Rogers of the Bahamas. So that taken care of. Ross is in the tune-up mode against Enrique Flores of Puerto Rico. First round underway. That's Troy Ross in the blue and Flores of Puerto Rico in the red. Flores fought at the qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico, Russ, but one class higher heavyweight and lost a close decision 12-11 to David DeFiabon. He's come down a class for this tournament. It's a tough customer. This could be a tough test for Troy Ross.
A 1-point difference with DeFiabon. And I'll tell you something else we're going to see from Enrique Flores. He has the ability to switch to the southpaw stance as well. I think we'll see him turn over at various times because Troy Ross is a southpaw. And you got to say something else about Enrique Flores. He used to box as a middleweight, stopped for a few years, came back in as a heavyweight, and now he's back down to light heavyweight. So this is an experienced guy in there for Troy Ross.
A lot of punches thrown in the first 45 seconds of this light heavyweight final. Troy Ross, the southpaw, with a devastating right that many of his opponents have felt, although it was his left that finished Ron Rogers of the Bahamas in their semifinal here. Rogers was overmatched, to put it mildly.
Yeah, and he walked straight into a left hand, and that was the patience of a Troy Amos Ross, just waiting, and the left hand just came out smooth, and it landed right on the button. Now there's what I said. You see, Enrique Flores has now gone southpaw. He's now switched to the southpaw stance. And when you're a southpaw, it's difficult to fight other southpaws because you're not used to fighting. But there's the right hook from Troy Amos Ross.
A hard right by Troy Ross. That caught the attention of the judges. And he's got a scoring blow now. Right and the left. Strong punches by the Canadian. Standing 8-count delivered to Enrique Flores.
A good straight left hand right down the pipe. He hurt him with the hook on the previous exchange. And then when Enrique Flores went back to the right-handed stance, it was the left hand that landed.
But now, Russ, Troy Ross must be patient.
He has to be patient, stay composed like he's doing. And right now, with him sitting on a lead, a 3-point lead, now Enrique Flores will have to come to him. Enrique Flores will have to take the fight to him to try to get those points back, and that will play right into Troy Ross's hands.
We mentioned earlier in the program how at the qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico, Ross lost his first fight to the home country fighter, Miguel Siaka. By his own admission, he was impatient there. Ended up losing 8-3, although the fight was probably a whole lot closer than that. He's already got vindication in this tournament, having secured his Olympic berth. Oh, he walked into a left there from Enrique Flores.
A right hook. He switched to the southpaw and caught him with the right hook coming in. Enrique went over southpaw and caught him with the right hook. He'll have to be careful of that, because Enrique Flores will go to the southpaw stance, although I thought Troy had discouraged him from that. The first time he tried it, he got nailed with Troy Ross's right hook.
In the 6 weeks since Puerto Rico, Ross has gone all out in training. He spent 2 weeks in Virginia with his cousin Egerton Marcus, the pro cruiserweight who won silver in Seoul. Egerton's in Halifax to watch Troy, and he's watched him take a 3-2 lead in the first round of this final.
Enrique did well to come back and get those 2 points right at the end. Both times he caught Troy Ross with the right hook. As Troy came in, he switched to the southpaw stance and caught him with the right hook coming in. Maybe we can get a look at it here. There's the right hook from Troy Ross. Enrique had switched to southpaw. Ross charged forward with the right hook and landed good shots on the inside. Enrique back to the orthodox stance, and there's the straight left hand right down the middle.
That forced Flores to take a standing 8-count. Von Michel and former Olympian Dwight Frazier in Troy Ross's corner. Dwight sends Troy Ross out for the second round of the light heavyweight final. Told him that be careful, this is a tough kid, but I think Troy Ross knows that.
He is a tough kid because David DeFiabon hit him with some bombs down in Puerto Rico, and he just kept coming back. You should have heard the crowd down there. They were going nuts for this guy.
Second round underway. Troy Ross of Canada in the blue, Enrique Flores of Puerto Rico in the red. 1 difference to start the second. Ross leading 3-2. Flores had the luck of the draw in this tournament. Goes to the Olympics no matter the outcome of this fight. You're at least a finalist. That's gold or silver. You have an Olympic berth. There are only 3 in this class. Flores got a bye into the final, so essentially he was drawn into the Olympics. Ross, on the other hand, had to win his semifinal against Ron Rogers of the Bahamas.
You can see Troy Ross has good boxing skills. He should exploit them more often. When he snaps that jab out, he doubles it up and follows up with the left hand. Very, very effective.
Having already wrapped up his Olympic berth, Ross didn't have to box in this final, but he told us he owed it to all his supporters to let them see him fight at least once more before Atlanta.
Sure, and I think he needs the work, having gone down to Puerto Rico and only had the 1 bout. This is a good opportunity for him to get 2 bouts under his belt, and before the Cordova tournament in Cuba, which he might be attending, or Liverpool, the one more tournament they have to attend before the Olympics.
.81 kilograms, light heavyweight, used to be the exclusive territory of Dale Brown, who has since turned professional. Troy Ross took it over at the Nationals in Brampton last December.
See, when Troy puts that double and triple jab together, he keeps Enrique off balance, and he can follow up with the left hand or the right hook. There's a good snapping jab. That's what he needs to throw, keep Enrique at bay. Good jabs.
And this is the patient Troy Ross that usually succeeds. Russ, he's not waiting in, loading up, hoping to finish his opponent right now.
No, sir.
Waiting for the shot.
That's right, and the power is there, so it'll find itself on its own. The power will find itself. What he needs to do is find the target, and that's by boxing. He's boxing nice and smart. There's Enrique Flores. He's gone back to the southpaw stance.
Inside the final minute of the second round now. Still a 1-point gap. No points scored in the second. It remains 3-2 for Canada's Troy Ross.
One could say they got each other's respect in the first round, eh?
So it would seem. Ross has had about 51 fights. His record is around 45-6, 14-12 internationally.
There's the good combinations from Troy Ross. He set it up nicely with the jab, followed up with the left hand, and then finished with the right. Nice boxing from Troy Ross, among the most patient we've seen him, with a quality opponent in front of him.
That's the end of the second round. Ross got the only scoring blow in it, and so now he leads by 2, 4-2 the count after 6 minutes of boxing.
Same thing, Troy. I want you to drive. When he corners, he's wild. When you do, and he corners, bam, 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 you know? So you have to, bam, 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 you know?
There's Enrique Flores in the southpaw stance. Nice jab, and look at him finish with the right hand. The first 2 didn't land, but it set up the third shot, and that's the key. Had he quit after the first 2 punches, he wouldn't have got the third scoring blow.
Yeah. Wide open, and try to reach you. Up 2.
As you can see, the corner knows full well the score. It's not being posted inside the Civic Center here in Halifax, but corners are able to find out what it is, and so Dwight Frazier has told Troy Ross he's up by 2. And as they head to the center of the ring for the third and final round of this light heavyweight match.
Let's just say it's not a state secret.
I'm told, Russ, that in Atlanta the scores will be delivered formally to the rounds or to the corners between rounds.
I'm glad you know that. Now they're getting into... See, he can get drawn into a wild exchange with Flores.
Well, just as Troy Ross was told he leads by 2, you know that the Puerto Rican corner told their fighter he was down by 2, so he's going to work to start the third round.
And Enrique Flores did the same thing in Puerto Rico against David DeFiabon. He turned it on in that third round. Superb conditioning, a conditioned athlete in good shape, and he'll turn it on in the third round. No signs of fatigue on Enrique Flores.
Ross's father, Charles, boxed in the '68 Olympics for Guyana. I mentioned the connection to the Marcus family. So Troy Ross's move into boxing would obviously have been a natural one.
And for those who had seen Egerton fight, you can definitely see the similarities in Troy Amos Ross.
Minute gone in the third round. Troy Ross nursing a 1-point lead now.
You can see that Siaka in the corner told Enrique Flores he wants him to use that uppercut. As soon as Troy bends, he wants him to throw that uppercut and try to straighten him up so he can land the straight right hand. Up to now, Troy has been successful in avoiding it.
And now wisely not being drawn into any wild exchanges with Enrique Flores.
He can't afford to do that. He's got his berth on the team. He has to be smart. Now, you see, there's where that big winging comes in. That's not any good. The hook has to set up the left hand and vice versa. Those should be thrown in combinations.
Coming up on the final minute now of round 3. Still a 1-point gap, so it's anybody's fight.
You know, from a boxing purist standpoint, this is one of the better fights we've seen of the tournament. We've seen good skills from both fighters, good defense, and we've seen good hard power as well. Good defense by Troy Amos Ross as Enrique goes to southpaw stance again.
And for Troy Ross, this fight has been all about patience. Done a nice job that way, Russ.
He has to. This is a game and quality opponent he has in front of him. And he's tried everything to baffle Troy Amos Ross and take him off his game plan. He's gone right-handed, he's gone southpaw, he's tried the uppercut, he's tried trading with Troy Ross. Troy has done very well to stay as composed as he is.
Ross's semifinal victory over Ron Rogers of the Bahamas was really no sort of test. That one stopped inside the first round. This really is a world-class test for Ross.
This is definitely Olympic caliber, this is, Scott, and I think we're seeing good Olympic quality caliber from Troy Amos Ross with his patience and his nice boxing skills, and he's got the win.
Yes, he has done it. Bell goes to end the fight. Ross is on the right end of a 4-3 decision on points.
That's not good.
Russ, that's about as effectively and as patiently as we have seen Troy Ross box in a long time.
Especially against the world-class opposition he was up against. He boxed very smart, and Enrique Flores has a lot of experience, and he's got it at a bunch of different weight classes. So give much credit to Troy Amos Ross for what he did in there tonight. He boxed, and when he needed to, he unleashed the power to get Enrique Flores' respect.
As he headed to the corner, Dwight Frazier told his fighter that, hey, you boxed with discipline and you box smartly. Here now, confirmation of the decision.
5 points, 4-3. In the blue corner.
There it is. A little closer than I guess Troy Amos Ross would have expected, but a good win. You got to feel bad for Enrique Flores. Twice he fights in the qualifiers, twice he loses by 1 point.
Troy Ross is on his way to the Olympics, carrying on a family affair. His father was there in '68, his cousin in '92, and now Troy Ross in 1996.
Now, don't ask me why, but Sharon wants to meet you. So once she gets here, just say hello, act normal, then we're out of here.
I can't believe our little Billy has a girlfriend.
Okay, first rule, my name is Bill, and I'm not little.
Bill?
You're not gonna wear that.
What?
What's with that hair?
What?
Why is he in a suit?
Cool, huh?
Why did I agree to this? Hi, Sharon, this is my family, let's go.
Hey, wait, we're just going to McDonald's. Maybe they'd like to come with us.
McDonald's? Yeah, that's okay with you, Bill.
They test car batteries here. They test pickup trucks here. And when they test yard machines, they go here, Dave Spivey's house. MTD tractors, chipper shredders, and lawnmowers tackle the toughest jobs. Look for MTD yard machines at retailers near you. MTD. Wow! I like it! MTD yard machines, best value on the Canadian landscape. Available at these retailers.
It's time to play...
Roll up the rim to win!
At Tim Hortons, where everything's always fresh.
Even the prizes. Win!
One of 15 1997 Ford Escort LX sedans or wagons.
Roll up the rim to win! 5,000!
Raleigh mountain bikes. Or over 8 million Tim Hortons prizes.
Roll up the rim to win!
Drink the coffee first, people.
Roll up the rim to win.
They're rolling off the line.
Wow!
Atlanta is this summer's peak destination for the athletic elite, and the gymnasts will look to hone their performances at the World Championships on CBC, your Olympic network, next Saturday.
Back with you now in Halifax, where Canada's light heavyweight Troy Ross is tuned up nicely for the Olympics with a fine decision over a tough Puerto Rican opponent. Troy, you're saying that you're beginning to understand better how it is that your coaches expect you to box in the amateur ranks.
Yes, I am. It's a more slower place. I can keep my stamina and just work my boxing skills that I'm used to and that I do in the gym when I spar. so I feel much more confidence in the ring against better opponents.
Russ and I were saying during the bout that one of the best things you did in this fight was exhibit patience.
Yes, I did. Like I said before, I was working on that, and I was trying to keep my hand up and just work hard, really.
This guy was a world-class opponent. Do you feel as though if you can box this way in the Olympics, you could be on the medal podium?
Yes, I do. I think I could achieve like what Lennox Lewis and my cousin Egerton Marcus did. And the way I'm going now, I think there's a chance of me being there.
All right. Good luck in Atlanta. Thanks for your time, Troy.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Well, earlier we saw Jean-Francois Bergeron survive a first-round knockdown in his semi-final bout. Sets the stage for this final, Russ.
And boy, there's a big difference in this tail of tape. Look at the height and reach advantage enjoyed by J.F. Bergeron.
He faced Sherman Williams of the Bahamas. Bergeron had to win this fight to qualify because the super heavyweights only get one chance. And Russ, this was a mismatch in 3 areas: size, ability, and skill.
Well, like we said, he fought his final bout, and he fought the best guy in the semifinals. That was his major opposition. Unfortunately, Sherman the Tank Williams just did not have the shape, the conditioning, or the experience and skills to match Jean-Francois Bergeron.
Yeah, Williams spent much of this fight just trying to hang on. There were repeated cautions given him. In fact, he probably should have been disqualified in the second round.
Well, there was a big controversy about that because, as you know, the rule in amateur boxing is once the referee takes away the point, he cannot go back to giving a warning for the same infraction. And it was repeatedly happened. Sherwin Williams was grabbing on, holding, had points deducted for it, and then had cautions for it as well. So it really, he should have been out of there. But maybe in hindsight, it works out well this way. It wasn't dangerous for Bergeron. He boxed, scored points, got a little bit of the work in, and which he'll need before Atlanta.
Williams won 2 fights to get to this final. In both, he came out swinging, clearly trying to end it early, given that he's not in the best of shape. That strategy didn't work against Jean-Francois Bergeron, and as the fight wore on, Williams was clearly exhausted.
He was as exhausted as you could be, and I think it's kind of a little bit of a disappointment that Bergeron didn't stop this guy, because you couldn't have a guy more at your mercy than Bergeron had Williams. He should have been able to take him out of there, but he just couldn't put that final finisher on.
To put it diplomatically, Williams wanted a close-range fight, wanted Bergeron on the inside, but that strategy didn't work either.
No, he got nailed with the uppercuts. The left-hand uppercuts from Jean-Francois Bergeron kept getting through on the shoulder. Williams snapping his head back. But I think Bergeron would have liked to have finished him off. But like I said, he just couldn't find that one to put Sherman Williams away.
In the end, a lopsided decision for Jean-Francois Bergeron, but an important one because it sends him to Atlanta. His parents, Nicole and Maurice, made the long drive from Saint-Jérôme to enjoy this moment with their son, and it was worth it.
Oh, okay.
Chrysler is proud to sponsor Canada's Olympic team. For in every athlete, we see the very qualities of the thousands of Canadians who build our cars. Skill, pride, and that burning desire to go faster, soar higher, and become stronger than we ever thought possible. At Chrysler, we're not just building cars, we're building Canada.
It starts with fresh baked bread, juicy slices of mouth-watering seasoned steak, real processed cheese, and the kicker, it's covered with the sweet and mild taste of A1 thick and hearty steak sauce. And the only place you can get it is at Subway. Now it's Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Plus, all the fresh veggies you want. You want onions, tomatoes, green peppers, you got them. Just point and they're on your A1 steak and cheese. Subway's A1 steak and cheese. Hurry in for a limited time. If you're not hungry yet, check your pulse.
The tradition continues.
All right, the regular season's over. The playoffs begin. The real season starts as far as I'm concerned.
Check hard, skate hard, fight all the way.
16 teams start, 2 finish, and 1's left standing. Absolutely.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
First of all, starting cycling in '90, I never would have thought I'd make it to the Olympic Games. So, and then after the Olympic Games, I said, you know, sixth place isn't good enough for me. I want to beat them. I know I can. And, you know, the next year, bang, I was world champion. So I have this determination and will, I think, to be very successful at whatever I do. And cycling is what I want to do.
In Halifax, the Tournament of the Americas is over, and Canada has confirmed an 11-member boxing team for Atlanta. We welcome the head coach, Yvon Michel, and the super heavyweight representative, Jean-Francois Bergeron. Jean-Francois, you had more pressure on you in these qualification tournaments than anybody else. You didn't even get to box in Puerto Rico because there was no super heavyweight competition there, so you had to do it here in Halifax, and you got the daylights frightened out of you in your semifinal bout. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm all right now. Yesterday was it was a tough fight because I had a little accident, if I can say. But that was the only mistake I made in the fight, and I paid dearly for it. But I recovered, and I was all right after the fight, and I was all right today for the final.
You looked like you had learned something from that because you were real cautious in the first round. In your final bout, you took it very carefully. What's your chances now for Atlanta?
Well, I think I've got a pretty good chance of a medal. I'm ranked in the world right now, and I think I can fight with anybody in the world. And I'll be ready, and I'll be in shape for the Olympics. So from now on, we'll see what happens after that.
How does it feel to be the first Olympian from Saint Jerome?
Oh, it feels good. It feels really good, and I hope I make Saint Jerome proud.
Well, you have already.
Huge support here from Saint Jerome today. Your parents, Maurice and Nicole, made the 15-hour drive, and I'm sure they feel it was well worth it. Yvon, as I say, you have an 11-member team. Canada's won medals in boxing in every Olympics since 1984. Do you feel good about the chances of that streak continuing with the squad you have going to Atlanta?
Yes, I feel very good. We have in a lot of weight division, we have good contender. I know that we're going to have bad breaks in some weight division, but we're going to have also good breaks in some weight division, and I believe that we can come back with a couple medals.
Well, Yvon, what is going to be the emphasis of the Canadian team during the training camp in getting ready for the Olympic Games? What is going to have to be the main goal for the team?
Well, the training camp will start July 1st, and we have, you know, the system in Canada, Russ, we have to count on the personal coach. If we got an 11 team member, it was because of a big team effort, and we have to thank the personal coaches. And so the personal coaches, they will have to carry on until July the 1st, and then in training camp, I believe that the Cuban Olympic team will be with us. So we will just to work on the last techniques, strategies, especially different style against different country, and just to polish the style and then to be ready mentally and physically.
Okay, Jean-Francois, you've asked for an opportunity to make a free time telecast, so go ahead.
I would just like to thank my family for coming down here, and I also want to thank Wayne in Taylor Garden, also Wayne Davis for taking good care of me during the 2 weeks training camp before the competition, David Defiabon for the good sparring. My coaches, A.B. Pervin and André Coulechat, and especially Yvon Michel.
All right, I think you got them all. Jean-Francois Bergeron, Yvon Michel, thank you both for your time. Congratulations. Best of luck in Atlanta. Stay with us, everybody. When we come back, we'll conclude the proceedings from the Tournament of the Americas.
Presenting the Yardman 3-in-1 self-propelled mower. It mulches, bags, discharges, has a 6-speed drive, and a powerful engine. All for the price of much tamer mowers. Yardman Mowers and Tractors, made in Canada.
There were 2 times when we wanted our customers to really appreciate the new Chrysler Sebring convertible.
Day and night.
We literally redefined the convertible from the ground up.
Of course, sunny skies and starry nights aren't the only reasons to own this car.
It's quieter than you'd expect.
Cab forward provides more interior room as well as a more stable ride.
It truly is a car that gives you the sun, the moon,
and an actual back seat.
Tournament of the Americas, Olympic Boxing Trials on CBC. Brought to you by Chrysler Canada. Chrysler, proud to be an official sponsor of the Canadian Olympic team.
Back in Halifax, here's the boxing class of '96 for Canada. And Russ, there's a lot of experience on this team.
There's a lot of experience, and you know what else there is, Scott? There's a lot of depth. I really like the way this team came together. I said I was a little leery at the outset when all this started, but they've really come together with a good group of guys, and they're going to do well in Atlanta.
We saw some outstanding world-class amateur boxing here in Halifax, and now Canada has its 11-member team heading to the Atlanta Olympics. Russ, you said at the box office in Thunder Bay that you saw no reason why the country wouldn't be able to qualify a 12-member team, and Canada would have, were it not for flyweight Chris Scott being unable to make weight. But what do you think of this 11-member team?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Chris Scott, you know, to lose it on the scales. That's a bad way to lose out on an Olympic dream. But, you know, I went out a little bit on a limb for Thunder Bay saying we'd qualify everybody, but I really felt good coming back from Puerto Rico when we qualified 7 of 11, and we should have had 9, so I feel real good that my prediction came through, Scott.
You know, when you think about it, it's going to be Canada versus the world in Atlanta, because past the 11 Canadians who've qualified, many other Canadians have qualified to box for other countries. Ron Donaldson, the middleweight, is going to fight for Jamaica. Right. John Kellman is going to fight for Barbados. You also have, these are both your fighters, by the way, and Herc Cuvello, your fighter, is on the Canadian team. Yeah. So you didn't want to brag about this, but I'll bring it up. You're the only coach, I think, in the world who's got 3 fighters going to the Olympics for different countries.
It's a multi-nation club, wouldn't you say? We couldn't make it for the Montreal Canadiens, but if you get drafted by the Ottawa Senators, you're still playing in the NHL. So I'm happy that the 3 of them are going.
Does all of that say something about the depth of boxing in this country?
Yeah, I think that's very good. I think that's a positive for boxing, and what it does is it's given other fighters a chance. Had it been on the old system where fighters had gone down to what you would call third world countries and just gotten an automatic and gone to Atlanta or to the Olympics, you know, it wouldn't be as well earned. But all those fighters had to go through the same process that the Canadian team went through. They had to go through the qualifiers, Puerto Rico and here, and they came out winning. So that's even better. They earned it. They weren't given anything.
Yvon Michel told us a few moments ago that he's confident his team can win medals in Atlanta. Are you?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, the big scare always in boxing is the draw. You know, that's the most important thing. Given that we have 11 guys, that puts the odds better for us because the draw will work out better for the fighters because you have 11 guys. We can't get 11 bad draws. So providing we get a good draw, and I have no doubt that the team is going to be physically and mentally prepared to box in Atlanta, I see a good chance for medals, and I'll say 3.
One additional point, Russ, this tournament is a huge undertaking, and it's not funded by the government. It's the financial responsibility of the host club, in this case, the Citadel Amateur Club. So kudos to Taylor and Wayne Gordon for the outstanding job they did running the Tournament of the Americas. Russ, great to work with you. We'll see you in Atlanta.
I'm looking forward to it, and we're quite fortunate. We must have good friends at CBC because we're going to have the best ticket in the house.
A reminder, the Stanley Cup playoffs on Molson Hockey Night in Canada continue tonight. Colorado's at Vancouver with that series tied at 1. Tomorrow, 3 games in the afternoon. Rangers at Montreal, Detroit at Winnipeg, and Chicago at Calgary, followed by Toronto at St. Louis in the evening. Don't forget, 1 week today, the World Gymnastics